This filthy dirtbag leans on Tabao. South Africans are spectators over my sorrow, that nobody's coming for me, that my whole family has abandoned me to their ideologies, that essentially the climate in this dream was of spectators watching a pervert pursue me to a point of being cornered. And when I finally gained reprieve from this freak was when I was encircled by a presence of, in particular, very irresponsible, affidavit signing, document certifying, case non-closing, case non-opening, essentially ball dropping South African police. Abayenzi lutho. Right now, forensics under their Begikele has lost so many, their laboratories have failed so abysmally to try and award justice to victims of gender-based violence, right? That his little office that started this forensics lab is falling apart, and victims of GBV are not going to get their justice. The rape victims, the murder victims, they're not going to get their justice because forensics, the lab that was started by Biggie Kele, is falling apart. So criminals are going to walk scot-free in this country. That's your South African police, all right? That is the police service that is out here trying to focus, apparently, allegedly, on matters of gender-based violence in a country that is the worst one to live in as a woman. And having put that task force in place, their laboratories are non-functional, they're lackluster, and private labs are not coming to the party to rescue South African, especially black women, from the epidemic of gender-based violence. That's our police. So understand, if I see the South African police in my dream, I'm not seeing a very powerful protecting force. I am seeing a lackluster, namby-pamby, affidavit signing, certificate, a document certifying, no brainer, no case opening, no case closing, no investigating, bribable workforce of wannabe public servants that do absolutely zero for the country. I have no respect for the SAPS, especially considering what they did to me. They mock women who are crying in police stations, bereft with whatever sorrow they might be going through, telling them, I've seen that yokhala lana nama SAP wakho wenu lo anginadaba nabo ha ke na taba le maponisa mo South Africa. Rubbish. If you don't get your stuff dealt with by private investigator, if you don't get your stuff dealt with by the beef jerks the bodyguards if you don't get that dead, honey, you ain't gonna get nothing dead. They are literally inspiring, thanks to their like la-di-da complacency, they clippy banana peel hands, a whole bunch of vigilantism in the country. They're making people take matters into their own hands. The executive is lackluster in this country. I can't say that enough. Now that I've put that out there, now that you're aware of what the SAPS is in this nation, it's not giving a respectable police force. It is not. If you live in a country where the police are like diamonds, they're like stellar, honey, we don't know nothing like that. Proper, you can write us entire essays and we will read them longingly and lovingly like a page-turner novel. We don't know nothing like that. Cool. So since there's no justice for anyone in South Africa, I don't even know how the prisons are filled with anybody. Like these people, maybe they need to find you on top of a dead body to arrest you, but otherwise actually get into any kind of investigation, dream on. So that's the South African police, right? Anybody got anything giving? And that force was the one that apparently allegedly came to my rescue. Now, as lackluster as the South African police force is in my dream, so too, not in my dream, in waking life, so too were they in my dream, because they represented not so much a protecting force, an enabling force by Jesus Christ, but a monitoring force that, however, fulfilled the purposes of Jesus Christ. Like I said, Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purposes. So even when people erect wicked structures, they ultimately get used for the good of saints. What you intended for evil, the Lord uses it for good, the saving of many lives. You can therefore have a very diabolical structure that is erected from the ground that ultimately works out for saints. Stuff like that happens time and time again in the scriptures and in Christians' lives. Okay, so so basically what I'm saying is that God can use a force that raises itself up and gives itself beef and power against the body of Christ to eradicate another threat on saints, because it is that much of a monolith to the saint that it is worth a while for the Christian to not have to deal with this anymore and only deal with one force. Now, I've been encircled by monitors all throughout my tenure as a suffering saint. I give out Tabi, like I said, the whole doctrine of monitoring spirits, I don't even believe in it. I'm just this chick out here fighting a war that I'm winning. Alright, like I said, Fandam Tompo, you play dirty, but I'm gonna win. Momo Stranting. So the force of the South African police in my dream was representing not only monitoring forces or people that just love to watch people for the sake of destroying their lives, but a very authoritative monitoring force. I was already being monitored in this dream by the spectators watching an impending rapist try to pin me down, I was already monitored by my uncle. I was already, but basically the whole of Soweto here was looking at me Safa. Nekeshe like the late Joes, the late Janes. This force was executive. It was literally an authoritative force sent by a government, right? So it was official in its capacity, this monitoring force. It was not just the late Joe or Shabelang YouTube channel ya stranger abamo lawyer cause amateur. It was official in who sent it, like the Hawks or King the Scorpion back in the day. Yeah, that's what this force represented. It's like the FBI. They all are watching you, but the FBI watching you on surveilling you through the FBI watching and surveilling you through your cell phone and listening to every conversation you have bugging your apartment is not quite the tantamount, neither is it so scary if this is the latter situation when your neighbor is using listening paraphernalia to hear in on your conversations because she's a gossip. When your neighbor has got binoculars to watch you take a shower because he's a pervert. When your neighbor is gossiping you with other people and talking about everything and then going on right ahead to sabotage it. Your neighbor out here putting all different kinds of traps in your yard so as to kill your dog so it won't bark so much every time that they're peeping over the fence. Yeah, they're all monitoring forces. But the one is just far more prolific than the other. The other one is a joke. The other one is gag worthy. The other one wahlanya ke mam gobozi. The other one agatusi. But the FBI monitoring you is a scary affair. Do you understand? Ho hectic mo go serase because government go shebila botlhoko le teng ho baneng. Eh. Danky san. So the presence of the SAP in my dream, SAPS, was of a very powerful monitoring force that was not quite the peeping Tom neighbor that is under normal circumstances ignorable. Under normal circumstances ingaphuma ngalo mama umam gobhozi uthanda indaba. Ubani othanda indaba? Mam gobhozi othanda indaba. Mam gobhozi othanda indaba. Mam gobhozi, mam gobhozi, mam gobhozi no boss gobhozi. Umam gobhozi o very nefarious on top of that because over and above ukuthanda indaba zakho uyasabotage lo muntu. Angikhulumi ngabangani abazokubukela impilo yakho as you're living it on social media. You're about to get married bese bazosabotage with seeds of sowing discord, you and your husband. I'm not talking about those amateurs. I'm talking about prolific cult members in the cult of which are leaders of your country surveilling you as a mere mortal, like the FBI looking at you like you're Jeffrey Epstein or whatever. Yeah, that's what's good. That's what that force represented, an official force of surveillance. However, in the center of all that surveillance, I was also being surveilled by other randos that were not innocuous, but I could just, kill them with pea shooting and they would fall to the ground. Maraba, banama guns, they hectic, and their guns were super black in color. Their boots were super black. They were just evidencing a very nefarious force. And this dream was also very bright, evidencing that God was showing it to me. God, the amount of evil pursuit of my person, it was just out of this world, astronomical. Anyway, whatever. Right? So, Kimos is that girl. We patile montlunya di Satan. I patile njefela. I could meditate nkare scupat or a snail in a shell. FBI is unto strange, or not FBI, SAPS, ne? And it stayed outside. That SAPS represented the cults in this country. I spoke about that, and it is their presence that made this monster from the US disappear. He did not die. He was not shot out the way. He did not run away. He merely poof like a vapor out here. Disappeared, and the force of my uncle also disappeared. That dream, I bet you can tell as I'm speaking to you now what it means. All right, that was a little showing Karabo that the men who surveil you, that like your uncle want to take care of you for life, that have no idea what you actually truly represent, they are going to disappear because of this. There will be men encircling you that are not going to be as rubbishy as the guy in the US, but that will want you, busy all up in your grill and telling you that nothing is for mahala, quid pro quo, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and I want to marry you anyway, to take care of you. You've got all these like rules and regulations that you have put up, so I'm trying to offer you Karabo, just relax, blom, make like a flower. Such forces will be speaking like this and claiming that the guy in the US, in comparison to him, they're the lesser evil. They would have called themselves the lesser evil, and that I must just take them up because at least they're not waving their manhood trying to rape me. Essentially men like my uncle. And I was running away from this dude from the US, trying to ask help from my uncle, and he wouldn't help me because I wouldn't adhere by his terms and freaking conditions. Very well. Then the FBI, not FBI, but situation happens. And then these popo caused this guy to disappear, and the force that is like my uncle also vapored, disappeared. Essentially, right now, that dream represented literally this very moment that we find ourselves in. I had that dream when I was still employed in corporate South Africa, perhaps 14 years ago. So almost like just over a decade later, a decade and a half, it comes to pass, literally hand to glove. Literally hand to glove. Only 2.5 years ago, when this guy in the US reared his ugly head, and then we broke up and he became this kind of stalking force, I knew I was able to put the pieces of that dream puzzle together and gauge that pursuing pervert was him. I finally met the man that would harass me with witchcraft until I would scream to South Africa and they would merely surveil me. They would merely gaze as spectators at my pursuit by a drunk pervert, the drunkenness of which is represented, just drunkenness on this, like spiritual drunkenness, like ubutagati, utawa. He was obsessed. Do you understand? Yeah. Yeah. I'd be running away from him. My uncle figure, essentially people like my uncle, men like that. Le bona ba tla ba bana tse on some I ke ke tla thusa mara ha mpatle because ke na le divorce, ha mpatle because ke na le bana ba 7, ha mpatle because ke na le di ex-wives 3, ha mpatle. They will just watch me get pursued by a perv doing nothing, while another spectator batch of people, random strangers, late Joe's James, people from my life, did chilling go jarateng ya bo Mofokeng ba shebile fela ke latelela motseto morago ke monna o batlang rape ke ntse ke like complain na gona lenja ba sa etse next, and everything it lo freezwa e thole nje fela crowd e bile statue, while monna o kwa America disappeared and the presence of my uncle also disappeared. That evidences that across my channels, my biggest one was 1,550 subscribers big, my second biggest 1,510, my third biggest channel was 960 subscribers, my third was 1,040 subscribers, and my smallest one was about 960 subscribers. So if you add these numbers, they basically come to the equation, they equate to the spectators, because right now my channel is shadow banned in a way so as to make sure that nobody watches my content, nobody gets recommended my content from out there in the wilderness, but subscribers have access to my content. So my subscribers can see my content. It does get recommended to them, but it does not get recommended to new people, and they've merely spectated. In my dream, and all they were doing is just merely watch. So that's why there are some Christians that are like Ananias and Sapphira merely watching me, and there are some people who subscribe to me and every so often watch my videos and then afterwards like burp and walk away and do nothing, watching me getting pursued by monsters, Galwana, a prolific, feverish spiritual war, and they've done nothing but be spectators. That represents my subscriber base. That crowd not only represents my subscriber base, but it also represents former friends, family members who, even though they're not subscribed to me, every so often surveil me. They come into my content, they watch me, by lawyer, by bites at this, that. It just represents everyone else that is watching. And in my dream, that's what was going on. Literally, that dream is coming to pass hand to glove right now. If God be for you, nobody can be against you, Wankutla. The enemy comes at you like a flood, but God raises a standard. Hallelujah. The presence of these guys, like I said, is a cult. So the monitoring force that is huge and very authoritative are the cults of South Africa, and they have seen it fit to target me. And that's why at such big platforms like YouTube and Facebook, I can go nowhere. I can move left neither nor right. TikTok, they have blacklisted me to a point where I can't get a job. In corporate South Africa, I am moving nowhere. They're powerful enough to pull those kinds of favors because I'm that feverish a saint. And they have seen it fit to surveil me on the periphery, all about me, in the interest of baby sisters, girl Zina, lady my girl. This surveilling force was not necessarily coming to my rescue. They could not care less. They were just coming there to surveil me. But it was their very surveillance, it was their very pursuit of my person that eliminated the guy from America, and also eliminated the lackluster presence or climate of the archetype that was my uncle. It got rid of men that feel like Barang Chata today. and it also got rid of indoda ethiriyani ngayifuni kodwa ecanga ukuthi mina ilanga lizofika I'm going to ukumamkela nengqulaza yakhe yonke iphelele nabantwana bakhe baningi nabafazi bakhe badala alomthulisa kodi projects zakwa America. Njengana ya Satani was eliminated by this force. God was showing me that it will be the very targetedness of your person by an executive surveilling force that is going to free you from minion perverts. And it is also going to seasonally freeze out the audience around you that are merely just watching you suffocate. Essentially, this executive monitoring force is going to be able to pull so many strings that one day bazokubhora kabuhlungabi, and because banemali yokubhadala ngama-billionaires angisho they are running South Africa ngama-corporate executives, ngama-music industry and executives, kidi celebrity, kidi president, kidi eng bakotsi batho bana ba tile tlhorgo iblaneng ba hlanya ba batla ho maintain South Africa ba idota nje fela. One day they felt ingati mina bazongishaya ngempama bazongibonisa ama-flames, they're gonna bring me down from my high horse. And so even though I'm completely innocent ngizithulela ekhoneni doing my own thing, giving the gospel, they're gonna decide to go and delete 4 freaking YouTube channels without a strike, a warning, without a second strike, nothing. Bazovela nje phela bathi YouTube has removed your content cause basebisa amatlakala wako YouTube. Ulodelete the account tsa batho cause yena o tseba cult member a big, a chunky, ya billionaire inemali lenja, so akunamuntu ozomphakamela. So Karabo, mina I'm going to go and trust my chunky billionaire and not you. It's written in God's word that lona badi bere, badi sword, ba artillery, lona ba war machinery, lona ba tetsenka di hand grenade di tanka. You ain't got jack on the person who fears the Lord. The Lord does not delight in the war horse. He does not delight in war strategies. He does not delight in imali, ama resources in. All he wants is your faithful adherence to his precepts. Ufuna nje inhlonipho, ufuna nje kuphela go mothorisa, o batla fela go ratwa, go acknowledgewa as modimo wa badimo. And how tshwere eo yona right ke re dintswengana tse tshwereng di intercontinental ballistic missile ha di tlo gona hema. O ntse o sena ke re le for bop. O sena le sente wa nkutlwa, o sena pampiri ngwana batho. I'm right down pretty boy. O sena pampiri o tlo tshosa banna ba Satani ba bang ba ranang South Africa ka iron fist ba itwetsa gore bona ba tlo tsaya di wine fields tsa ko Cape Town tsa magoa wa nkutlwa ba sa ba fe compensation. Hambani zinja tswelang pe etsang thwele batlang lo senya di rooibos fields tsa momzansi, our pride and joy. Hambani nje no grinder like a bubble gum between amazinyo. Hambani how can I move a twans at chips at the cause latel Samayang Liemezi since I lima mezi nite hamban. Anyway, whatever. So nahe agina luto kimuchwa sente gana litingi. It's got a penny with a hole in it, a penny with a hole in it, yeah. Cause you say I'm hopeless. Yeah. Le batla hompula dintswa a ke NG Stone no nna ga kontshiwa cause le bora ke taba re ke lentshitse ke a phela ke na le mo mereko NG re tla mmona later mahodimo le bolaile ngwana batho ne le oswaka le rabishi batho ba ko entertainment industry la bola fela ka lula ke kotsi le nna ke na le gadima la ka ke le one ke dutsi mo khoneng le nna ke le gadima and le tlotse hore ke le gadima. Anyway, so sister Ona, oh, that is hopeless. Like a penny with a hole in it, penny with a hole in it, yeah. Mina, oh, hopeless. I think ke go tshireletswa ke very strategy ya occulting. From China never entlogele etso moringa ga nta na tlo nna le teng for 3-4 years. Last year modimo o itse konna ke it's been 2 years baby girl it ba 3 ebe 4 ebe 5 khala ntsa ngwana go tswa mo monna o tlo go latella o bo tlhokafale o kena in the grave ha o ka nyala mo pela hae ha o ka ba le monna o tlo mo zama ka di witchcraft spell o ntsa nna ntsa chisa kerese. He's going to keep on trying to come in between you. You need to kick that bugger to the curb. I was like Anjani because me I love my ministry. Me I adore my ministry. God, if I leave my ministry for the sake of this rubbish, it means that I'm not going to have anywhere to go and speak. Why don't you just kill him? And God was like in due season was one good thing in a situation. Let's cracking all up in my feet, trying to make me appear like a penny with a penny with a penny with a. This this outie. Wabela wathi ba disappear. Timale bona nje fela gone. Because of another persecuting force. That was the Lord showing me that you guys would harass me so badly that I would finally, in all of my feverish anger, just get out and not come back. I tried to leave. I tried to start a thing over there. About a year ago to do a different thing. That's when my animation commenced. Maraka who rather is the one that's a penny with a hole in it, penny with a penny with a hole in it. Njanyana ele senang bokamoso ena no rena e tlong nyala inketse benefit ya gagwe ke le benefactor ya teng ke nna motho wa go mofa di mashankura tse ngata tsa spiritual currency ke tlo ntse ke tlo itshela ko monneng o tlong tshelang ka ngolazi. Okay ho longeng le ra ke na bokamoso ga ke na tsholofelo nna I ain't got no hope. Alright, it's all good in the hood, baby girl. It's all fine, it's peachy, like your Illuminati symbol. Ayo na ki sign for sharp, marafolo na ki satan ya feleti ki 666. Alright, but you mo bangla tletse morao go nkare ke mogata ne ho hooking onto me nkare the claw ya ko liar ya Jim Carrey, cause that's ka maka le claw please ngateletse morago claw claw ya disappear mara, because yet another claw was all up in my grill. You guys that did this to me, the level of resolve that is in my bones uphumagini ntwele nkentse yona enkutse botlhoko so much leng hobudisitse ka dikeledi la nkutlwa like morning engathi mntana mushonile umsebenzi onguyenzile over very many years na vele decide ukuthi nizongithathela wona ukungidiletela without even but to show you were flexing your muscles. It was a show of power like Kim Jong-un. That's what you are, tyrant, oppressor. Hey, you know how Kim Jong-un ought be flailing over North South Korean airspace over the ocean, like entire ICBMs, like Lenja Lena ibizing ama intercontinental ballistic missiles. Mesa ayogoka I leather jacket thinking that he is Van Damme or whatever. Kisteri kamazaza amakan abatwetsa ntoka slow motion go North Korea ho bontsha South Korea ra ke batlang ka le bomba ka ICBM. I can just nuke you. I'm a nuclear power Mew. This was a show of power, Kim Jong-un. I'm like South Korea and you are North Korea, Kim Jong-un. You literally over my airspace flew an ICBM that landed in the ocean, killing my sharks. And then you say, I can if I want it. Just you watch. You did not delete my whole channels. You deleted 2 of them. However, initially you deleted 4. I appealed and got 2 back. Was the one that you had left alone was my main channel. You were like ones who were showing me that one day I can bomb South Korea. I understand Uguti, one day this nuke will land. Go Japan. One day is one day. You were showing me that even though you are not yet going to bomb South Korea, you can. You were showing me with your Kim Jong-unique show of power that even though I am not going to delete your main channel, one day I freaking can. Neleng Tosa, like a Chinese spy balloon over America. Neleng Tosa, like Chinese warcraft over Taiwan and the Philippines. Neleng Tosa, you are just bullying me, pulling the Kuruspanta Talona because you've got nukes in lab. You were showing me that just like Russia did shows of power in the Ukraine before they invaded, that one day you will invade, that one day you will take away my main channel. One day I will wake up and find that even that is gone and I won't be able to appeal. It was a show of freaking power, seeing as you are a tyrant. And when I appealed to get all of my channels back, nang niggas fella too, to show me we're going to bring you off your high horse. Before that attack, that show of power, the Lord showed me to show me where to get off, basically to put me in my place. Ne? Yeah. Cause you think I'm hopeless. But that's me now. I'm gonna say now bye 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 bye. Leng rabishi sokola rabisha back lang kutka. Leng tumpile ka ICBM in my water and killed my dolphins, and then said next time it's not gonna be a dolphin, it's gonna be your babies in a school. It's gonna be your patients in the hospital. It's going to be your students in a high school. It's going to be your employees in a corporate. Did Kim Jong-un just tell me that one day Otto Bomber University rugby field. Bana ba ka badlala rugby. You don't just throw that kind of show of power over my airspace and have me not react like South Korea. I'll just rock up as a female president and tell you where to get off. You don't get to do that and have me not call on America. You don't get to have me, or is it Taiwan that has a female president? You don't get to threaten me. You don't get to threaten me. And even though and not have me scream and cry in ways that will make you think twice before you do your next show of power. You don't get to threaten with deleting all of my prophecy, all of my content, all the work that I have worked hard on. You don't get to say that I can if I want to. I just want to show you that I can. So this is my reaction. This is my knee-jerk reaction. You with your Kim Jong-unic general oppressive fascist demeanor. Mamela. Kim Jong-un, you were used with your show of power to eliminate one of my enemies as opposed to me. Kim Jong-un, you are going to be the ones to kill Njayagwa America. I tried to pray away that bugger. I tried to make him disappear. I tried. I told him not only the way to get off, but I prayed feverishly to the Lord to kill him. I tried. And as for all these other randos, they kept on trying again and again, thinking Guti proper. This morning to hear Binaya Celine Dion again. There were nights when the wind was so cold, and I'm sitting here thinking that maybe my ex-lover is not gonna stay an ex-lover forever. But you were history with the slamming of the door, and I said, Mara baby, I'll give you another chance because I'm high. I'm gonna take you in my stride again, because when you touch me like this and you grope me like that, I forget my senses and I'm a believer and it's all coming back to me. Papa, ke ha ke bina Celine Dion. At some point, ke ha ke bina LA. Ke utlwa hape. Yeah, freshly ground. And what would you do if you knew the truth? Oh, what would you do if I told you the story of my life? Would you find me really familiar to all you? Would you call me cruel? Send me aside to the birds. What do I do with all these feelings tearing me up inside? What do I do with all these wasted hours dreaming of you and I? I'd like to call you sometime. I'd like to DM you one time. I'd like to reconcile with you all the time. Oh, how would I like to call you? Hey, bana, mo life think I keep la fresh ground. I'd like it. Mo now sang tshwaneleng. Monna o sang tshwaneleng o tshwetsang gore Karabo o tla etsang hanga o DM my sisters. What would you do if what's the other part in that freshly ground song? What would you do if I kissed you? Oh, what would you do if I held your hand and laid you down? Would you recognize it's a need I've been fighting for so long? Would you recognize it's a hunger only you can feel? I would cry rape. Don't pin me down, don't kiss me. Ex-boyfriends trying to come back and random dudes romanticizing my sorrow, telling themselves, girl, what would you do if I direct message you? Oh, what would you do if I sent you flowers and an e-wallet? Would you find me overly familiar towards you? Would you call me insensitive and say that I deserve to die? Yes. What would you do with all these feelings burning me up inside? What do I do with all these wasted hours dreaming of you and I? I got men singing me I'd like, yeah, freshly ground, and some of them are my exes, and I'm like, yeah, don't. But that I'd like archetype, that I'd like resonating song, that I keep on getting woken up by Lipinaya Celine Dion. But you were history with the slamming of the door, but then I accommodated your rubbish. Oh, but why? Keeps going on a loop because people thoroughly think they can keep on experimenting with me. And for say Leia, I'd like it. Leia, if you touch me like this, it's all coming back. For say Leia, bring back Lost Lava Korobela. Yeah, Ariga attempt I keep on if it Lamorekela my keep go touch shop on Yaka Angate, even though my keep is a couple of months ago from being expired. Or the biscuit. Yeah, the biscuit. He disappeared in my dream, just like my uncle. They disappeared. They disappeared. And the reason they disappeared is because Kim Jong-un so violently threatened South Korea, Japan, and the Philippines in one sitting that their retaliation, even though being small nations, was sufficient to ward off even internal little conflicted enemies of South Korea from within their own back door. People that out here be messing with South Korean patriotism were uprooted because of Kim Jong-un's show of power. Like, it was such a massive threat, the deletion of my channels, to my future on this platform. You showed me that even though you did not delete everything of mine, you landed an ICBM in the ocean. You showed that even though you didn't delete everything of mine, my voice is still heard and my presence is still there on the internet. You showed me that at the click of a button, you can completely eliminate me. You showed that you can drop a nuke in my country. You showed with that show of power that even though you didn't do it, you can, and that you one day plan to. And just the prospect of one day waking up and having no YouTube channels and all of my data gone, with me being entirely unable to recoup it. Listen, all I saw with that show of power was the day arriving when you are all so panicked because of the walls closing in on you. I saw with that show of power, with you being so panicked because you are being arrested, indictments are happening, the syndicate is falling, literally every last one of my prophecies is coming to pass, that without even thinking, in order to eradicate any iota of evidence, that you will call this buffoon at YouTube and tell her delete all her channels. The FBI is knocking on our door, and so I will lose everything. Giboni njefela a nuke landing on all of my South Korea one day. You don't just stand back and do nothing with that. That was my wake-up call to discover Uguti, if I don't eliminate these creeps before they delete every channel of mine, one day hard knock over losing one kumsebenzi that I've ever done. I've got to try and speak sense into YouTube, and I have got to eliminate them in this season of this chick having quit her job, just walking away from umsebenzi wakon, before they can find another minion to delete all of my YouTube channels. The Trump administration must quickly recover me before I'm completely gone, erased off the internet, and then they struggle to find me, because while they will recover even deleted channels, they won't be able to get to some of them. They won't be able to get to everyone. So I cannot essentially be overlooked, overwhelmed, just flown over the airspace of like ki ignore Hashem no ki bone nje fela eona ki threat eka nka se kgone we ignore nka se tswele pele as normal. So my initial response was to say bring back all my channels or else, cause like neither. But I realized which once you are literally being like doors are being banged, there's a raid at your properties by authorities, by the SWAT team, by the FBI. Once that's happening, it's going to be easy to call a person to quickly just delete literally 5 channels to put the Lord used the vision. When I was thinking about this last night of putting documentation in a shredder quickly before the raid does its handiwork, so you're not going to be able to find damning content, damning information. They would just one day shred all of my ministry in order to try and alleviate or avoid indictment or like a prosecution tribunal or whatever. And I was like, well, days are still come. While the doors are yet to close in on them, I need to set the record straight, and not only that, I also need to kill you, like as in assassinate you with my electricity. But I cannot do that. Do you understand? I cannot do that being woodpecked at my toes as a dinosaur by some little minion animals that I've been just shaking off my leg. This time around, I gotta eliminate those animals. They gotta go, because something quickly before the walls close in on him. For what it was. Not only that, the Lord also saw it for what it was. Yeah. So this thing that deleted my channels is what made me make a decision to leave my YouTube channel until you bring my channels back. But that's never what God was intending to do. Remember I said earlier when I started speaking over here that a person plans but the Lord establishes his steps. I said that in his heart a man plays his ways, that man plans but then God laughs. Yeah. I planned to return to basically carrying on with ministry as normal and telling them that give me only just a little bit of views. You remember my negotiation my negotiation bullet points that I put down on some, this is what it's going to take for me to come back to my ministry. Yeah, I said that, leaning on my own understanding. If anything, after recording that video, the Lord said, you're leaning on your own understanding. And again, God leads that way. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Until it dawned on me this morning when I kept on getting harassed by witchcraft from family members in particular. My cousin, I was like, that don't know what big monolith I'm fighting. And happy. I had already gone on to ask God, seeing as after starting my channels, I grew such an affection for them. I grew so comfortable in the prospect of posting where I'm not being washed by monsters that I was starting to be like, maybe I should just deal with this. My 2 channels that have been deleted, it hurts for me to look at, like, upon going to trying to switch channels, to see that there's no channel. It hurts me to realize that they deleted channel. It says removed channel removed. I don't want to keep looking at channel removed. I don't want to keep looking at that because it's a reminder of the Kim Jong-un out here flew his ICBM over my airspace and freaking killed my dolphins. I don't want to look at that. And so I was like, maybe I should just log out of those channels where my channel have been removed and only maintain one of my channels open because I like to watch my content. And also I've developed history there of YouTube videos to watch. My main channel, keep it open for the sake of watching my content and also for the sake of watching videos on YouTube that I've created a history for myself on those channels while I build new history on my new channels. Yeah, but then not delete, but like log out of everything else, because literally when YouTube takes away my advanced feed, when this freak at YouTube the advanced features saka, I get an email telling me YouTube has removed your advanced features. But when they return them, I don't get an email. I just go in my content one day and discover that red border around my advanced features was gone. So I'm like, oh, they recovered my advanced features. However, if you are just do that verification thing to get advanced features, you will get an email from YouTube saying congratulations, you have advanced features. So it says that they're doing things haphazardly, ad hoc, in the background without any official email track to trace back to you that you've been recovered in your advanced features. If YouTube gives you advanced features, it sends you an email. When it takes them away, it also sends you an email. I get emails telling me your advanced features have been removed, but I don't get emails recovering me to advanced features. Also, when you appeal to YouTube after them taking a channel away or whatever, and they recover you to that channel or that video, they will give you an email saying you've been recovered, evidencing that these people are working in haphazardly, roguely, without the systems of YouTube having anything to do with it, or the process, the procedures, the policies of YouTube, methods of YouTube having anything to do with it. Is that they will recover my advanced features without me getting an email. They will recover stuff that they took away from me without me getting an email. So I find out by happenstance because I go into my content. So therefore I kept those channels open so I could see them recovering to me my deleted channels when they bring them back, because I know that I'm not gonna get an email telling me YouTube has given you back your channels. I knew that I would have to just keep looking. But for me, what broke my heart, what afflicted me, was the looking. What hurt me was the fact that when I look at that ribbon of all of your channels on YouTube, 2 of my channels are written channel removed. It hurts. And they took it away. So I don't want to have to keep on looking at that pain. I mean, the amount of pain I've endured over these years has made it such that I don't even look at my analytics, my numbers, because people are sabotaging me. I don't want to discourage myself. So for me to have to keep my eyes open to the fact that my channels have been removed because I have to check if they brought them back was painful. So I was like, God, should I not just log out and only have the channels in which I am posting available for me, so that I don't have to deal with that no channel or channel removed little ribbon. I don't want to have to deal with getting message or notification or whatever. I don't want to have to deal with that. Like Papa, they not only deleted my YouTube channel in those channels, but they took away my history. They took away my YouTube, Google, and just YouTube at all. In that Google account, I can't access YouTube. Go fair, guys. That's what they did. I can't access all of YouTube. I can't access even watching videos. That's the level of barricade that they put up on me. I can understand removing channels, but then keep my history and me being able to watch random stupid videos. But they took even that away. That's how much deletion they walked in, okay? When I saw this, I was like, sorry. I can't keep looking at this. I literally cannot keep on looking at the fact that YouTube has removed my channel. I don't want to deal with this pain. So I deeply considered, very richly, walking away altogether from my old posting places and just starting from scratch and posting in this new environment. And trusting that at the opportune time, at the opportune moment, when I'm set free by the American FBI, whatever, that whole investigation that's coming, then I will go back to my old channels. Then I will go back to posting over there. Even if I don't get back my 2 removed channels, I will still have the 3 that remain so that I can grow from there, because I'm going to be set free. Maybe once I get on the partner program in one of my channels, I can then reappeal the taking away or even go to court of my other 3 channels, so as to open that avenue for people to be able to read my policy, watch my policies from there. But I don't have yet that time. But until such time that I am free and able to walk easy in these spaces, I'm not going back. Mara, for now, I gotta post in another place. I deeply considered it for the sake of my soul and my heart, because I was bereft, okay? But then the Lord confirmed that that was the right decision by giving me dreams, showing me the witchcraft that is perpetuating, lingering, never ending, just rolling like a hamster on a wheel, coming from friends, family members, little random wannabe lovers, people selling my kipi, trying to make me their wives, all that jazz. And I mean, the just barrage of attack from these lackluster miscreants made me realize, Uguti, unless I get rid of the woodpecker, I'm not gonna be okay. Confirmation that I should walk away from YouTube, not YouTube, but walk away from the channels where these people have access, was the fact that I keep on dreaming about their witchcraft. They have to be blind. They have to not see me. The guy in the US will be eliminated by my disappearance. He will not be able to survive me being nowhere to be found. He's going to get eliminated by my disappearance. 3 days, maybe a week ago, a week and a half. I don't know why I said 3 days, but sometime last week I had a dream of this guy in the US walking around defense there. It's South Africa. Like, as in women in South Africa, women in my country, South African girls, women, were in a house. He was like a lurking, peeping Tom, hovering around the windowsill of South African households, stalking South African women. And all of us were like, what does this guy want? He must leave me alone. What does this guy want? Like, madly. But he kept on lurking and lurking and lurking around, not only harassing me, but he was also harassing other women in this house that I was living in, okay, with these women, evidencing that this guy, ever since he met me, and since I don't want anything to do with him, he's been stalking South African women, trying to get a replacement of me in them. Oharasa on the internet, literally South African girls. What a target that he wants us high and low. And he is, I believe, literally sliding into the direct messages of South African girls and abamfuni. They keep on saying, "Funi, get out, leave me alone." Mawaba lawyer, he was lurking outside of your window and all of us were scared of him. What eventually happened in that dream was that some guy wearing what looked like vampire clothes, it's like he had a cape on, alright, he was a blackened dude, or evil. He grabbed, because Oshebile and Jefela Moto busy kabanyana ba South Africa, wathatha isibhamu lo muntu on some yekela labo girl, leave these women. And he literally shot at him motlhogong. Mara this guy ducked, bullet ya lenda mo fatshe azanga mo gona. I pull that trigger happy, and at the second shot, this guy in the US was like, whoa, okay, fine, no, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. So essentially, the way that this guy is such a pest over South African women, even evil men would embark on a mission to end his life, because he is literally harassing South African women. And there are women who have a complainer. They literally call on their uncle, who is a satanic high priest. And this guy would be endured through a human sacrifice ritual, nearly die, survive it, and then next time be ho. That dream, after he said, "Oh, please don't kill me," as he was on his knees with this man unleashing rounds, because after this guy, because he said, "I will leave them alone, I will walk away," he stood up, dusted himself off. Do you understand? After this satanic dude that tried to kill him left and just went right back to work. Literally, he tells this guy, "Please don't shoot me, I'll leave." And then after this guy leaves, he continued to stalk girls in this dormitory. Other than because I am going to be the absent thing in his life that is going to make him grab and shoot. I said that. God, for as long as he thinks he has a chance with me, he will always think he has a chance even with any other South African girl. He will keep on going back to the drawing board. But once I disappear off the internet, he will be so disillusioned and despondent that lights are not here. Coupled with the fact that Donald Trump because busy the food stamps. That's what's going on. America. Literally, he is that much of a menace. And in my dream, he was eliminated by the surveilling force around my life. So nyanbonga satanists, billionaires, millionaires, abangi buge like a hawk. Thank you. Because thanks to your little show of power like Kim Jong-un over South Korea, killing my piranha, thanks to that, it hurt me so bad. It afflicted me so like horrifically. That the decision I made to leave my ministry last time to start animation so as to run away from that guy and many other people like you, this time I'm solid in it. This time I'm nandaba that I'm not gonna get viewed. This time I don't care. All I'm trying to get out of is surveillance by freaks, and also to go dueling head to head, trial by ordeal with just you. Now I am gunning for Ntwa in a ring, a cockpit like Fight Club, like I'm Brad Pitt, with just you. Takatak. I'm bigger than you, mara. You are imaginative of me being in tanga, ngisho. So ngifuna ukungena in a cockpit nani, guys. Ozana aretlolwa nami. Kupari gure. Ke le batla lona nosi fela. A ke sana taba le di minione tsa matata tse ntse ke di gata mo hlogong. Di tlhokafala galula njena. I'm coming for you. Ngifuna nina before you delete channel yami yonke. Never Buddhist nabo sister Riser. Ngifuna nina. You are my formidable enemies. You are my worthy opponents. Yini eni khona ukubona ukhanya kwabazalwane because you are that demon possessed. Ngifuna nina. It's you that I need to fight. Ke lona ekiyeming mo most lonko kitchen ya ka ke tourist too. Ke metso le kena ka kitchen re tlolwana. Mara le tlogena. You're not going to tap on my shoulder. You're not going to harass me. You're not going to do anything because since ne ke le kutsi ke le kotsi ke tletse ka thapelo. Ke votha mollo nje fela o mongwe hectic ene ha leng shebile ha le khone ho bula mahlo ka ofela cause la placer. So ngenkani nizongiyekela ngoba anizokwazi ukungilwisa. Ngihlezi ngi1 ngingathikaziswa mina ngama woodpeckers ka an itch inside a cast haletlongkhona ke sa haraswe ke monna kwa America. And just like the dude in South Africa, I don't know how long it's going to take for him to perish from my eyes. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to leave me alone. That's what I'm getting at. The dude from South Africa that was a married man, not married, he got married while I thought he was still single. Only I know he's my husband. As soon as I found out he was married, I was all bereft. I moved on and then he tried to pursue me and got the death spells. It took him about 6 months to put my game once and for all once I disappeared from the internet. So I don't know how long it's going to take for me in a new space where I'm posting with nobody watching me. How long it's going to take for this guy to finally just akunye bullet. Why? Because I get blockile making sure I get no subscribers. Blockile making sure I get no viewers. So there is no way that YouTube could ever recommend a video of mine and be like, oh, I found her again. So the very thing to make sure I get nowhere. The very thing to ascertain that Hana Mutong Shebelang is the very thing that's going to protect me from when I am posting somewhere else. Ki Shebeleto fela ki King Kong. Muna owa kwa America. Le babang ba mo South Africa. Any random oka torisang, a stranger on the internet. Habatong tola. Because the only way that anybody watching YouTube can find me is if my content is being recommended. Is if I'm getting new subscribers. The only way I can amass for myself some abusive monsters is if they can actually find me. So if you block me to a point of having no one look at me, you make sure that you're the only ones looking at me, and that these guys, even though they will keep on bewitching me week on week, after some time they will fall off one by after the other. They will just fall off. But after 1 month, after 2 months, and so they're going to stop trying. The hope that they have on me is going to fizzle away, and the one that is the biggest parasite on me, the biggest metastasizing cancer in my body, his surgical removal of maybe 6 months. I don't know how long it's going to take. Mara, this is going to end with him swallowing a bullet. This stalker from the US, and persecute. And even though our uncle back human sacrifice, i.e. for some strange reason, he's still living and living. He keeps on touching the anointed of God. He keeps on touching the Ark of the Covenant. Because, ignorant. Maralona, that have seen flames from saints of the living God. Lantinda. And the more you keep on tintering me with your perpetuating human sacrifice rituals, is the more that you, instead of this menace from the US, are going to pass away. All that you will have is your human sacrifice rituals. Your spiritual manipulation Waldo from a distance. Come in San Diego, where are you? The Dongzama get these spells. Time and time again. They will fail because I'm a prayerful saint. But after you cast the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th spell, God is going to be like a khatetzekwen and just knock you out. I'm literally on a mission to assassinate all of you, one after the other, with your attempts to kill me. Because you won't be able to come with your bow and arrow as an archer, because you think you are the arrow winner from DC Comics. And just out here unleash around into my heart. You can come here as a samurai and flail your sword and chop my head off, but without even being in the room. I'm waiting for you. Getting in a combat. Video game. Mortal enemies. Mara, you're not gonna come much long like these spiritual weapons that have failed time and time again in history. You will throw spiritual weapons at me over and over. They will fail. but we don't know at what threshold God is going to be like, we don't know how long it's going to take after each video that I post for God to kill you, Nadab and Abihu, those like 2 kids that got killed, those 2 Levites that got killed for messing with the Ark of the Covenant. We don't know when God is going to strike you dead. The Lord is forbearing. He is slow to anger. A better thing than powerful. Yeah. Mara, there comes a time when he's like, enough is enough. And seeing as you've got so much knowledge and insight on the power of God through saints, because you keep on surveilling us and you've got access to see us in the way that demons see us, you are without excuse in the way that other people on earth just aren't. The guy in the US has no clue every time I'm sending like when you throw your arrows into my space, you are throwing them into an infamous building, a building at Changamullo. That's why you can't touch me but for through your minions. So if I sit myself down, YouTube channel from the city under the sea, eventually you will get eliminated by mere virtue of trying a new spell. He's going to kill you. He's going to give you a shot through my ministry, through my videos. I will talk. Some of y'all will have conviction, you will be guilty, you will feel uncomfortable, yet you will go back to the drawing board, and it will be that going back to the drawing board despite God showing his power that he's going to knock you out. And only once every last one of you are out like a light, then only will I get resurrected, then only will I get set free, then only will I come up from the belly of a fish as Jonah to go and preach to Nineveh. South Africa is second half, boy, I will speak to them later. That's what's good. Because y'all need to be eliminated before then. You're gonna die in the belly of a fish. You are going to die before I'm resurrected. God is not going to give you a sign. You are wicked and you are perverse. A wicked and a perverse generation seeks after a sign, but God will not give them any sign except for the sign of Jonah. So my disappearance, my poverty, this lack, this want, this unbreakthrough position that I find myself in, that is the very thing that is the end of you. If you don't repent here in this sliver, Mohara bridge in abut le osi ufedi. That's why if a chirinyana e ya go bola olive branch ya go YouTube ga a tlogele mosebetsi wa teng a quit a fair 1 month's notice and walk le teng in the middle of your notice, sister girl, ungajeli lezinja lezi zase YouTube zase basba in the cult. Don't tell them. Just when I one day uska kena go mosebetsi me putso how pingi o go guy o change number o ye go Vodacom go Telkom mobile go MTN o lo reka sim card encha o rike a new one kutwa, basically just like disappear but without disappearing. I'm not saying change your ID number or fake your death or disappear because you are a minion, but you have got to disappear enough for them to not be able to contact you anymore. So the cell phone number area how fireplace will contact her, and then they will find another minion at YouTube. Mara before minion YouTube it's on the papers. The walls did close in. Bazabe bankriwe. Guzabe nje kunama investigation amanye hard knock. Ama sirens are gonna be going all over the show. So Leona minion ya teng laba mokokotela mo godima shoulder ya teng. Ora along blocker. Otlona hana gabedi gatri. That's what's good. Na kona ne minion ya kona izabe incha, like brand spanking new, like out of a hat, like out of a box, like a new Barbie doll. So he might be usable to give information. Marawena, you are so deeply entangled in this thing for so many years that you can't afford to be an informant to these people, for these people, because you know too much. You've been involved in this for too long. So a little old lady, like put yourself in witness protection, because the walls are closing in on you. Quit your job at YouTube. I'm telling you now, leave. But if you don't want to, you're gonna die. Because once the boulders come crashing, how to survive exposing, how to survive public scrutiny, how to survive humiliation, reproach, shame. But country go fella, it will wag its head. How to without people identifying you as Rabisha Deng, just like Tabo Best, I thought you could go to Woolworths and buy groceries and have somebody not know that you are not going to be able to walk publicly in South Africa for free. So quita before you become a reproach publicly. Don't say I didn't warn you. As for the new minion that they're gonna hire, now utaba light version of you, because utaba lemuncha maybe working for them for 3-4 months before I'm exposure, before I'm bamunta. So hana moto otlobang too focused on yena. His life might even be spared. Otla repenta maybe akhotlele kerekeng a ke show. Mara ha tlo tseba di phigise di kima, and le teng he's not going to be hired. Do you understand? From what I gauge, a guy this time, he's not going to get hired into the cult. He's not going to be introduced into the workings of the cult, the intricacies of the cult. He's not going to be basically invited like with the Squid Game card to be Isole that's actually shooting shoulders dead. He is not going to be a member of the cult, just some greedy boy that is supplementing his salary, got 10,000 rand bribe to do a strange thing using his job yako YouTube. Akazwazi ukuthi abantu abamenzisa this thing are involved in black magic. When however, sister girl, owazi those intricacies, you know that these people are satanic, and now you're part of the cult. You've done rituals, you've walked backwards, you've entered a room at dark, and these social media content creators that claim that they're Christian, that claim that they love the Lord, that claim that they come in peace, and yet they are wreaking havoc over South Africa's life. You've met celebrities, you've met abantu that are involved in cults. You are part of such an intricate web of deceit that you can't afford to be cornered by some FBI agent to account. Because then they are gonna just wipe you out. They're gonna kill you for too much. So don't get called for an interview. Don't have to sit.